You're making six figures, driving a nice car, wearing designer clothes, and you're still living paycheck to paycheck. Sound familiar? Here's the brutal truth. 90% of people chasing financial freedom are running in the wrong direction entirely. And the worst part, they think they're doing everything right. Look, in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you the 5 critical mistakes that are quietly destroying your path to financial freedom. And I'm not talking about skip your morning coffee nonsense. Here's exactly what you're getting today. The 5 silent wealth killers most people don't even realize they're making, why these mistakes are costing you anywhere from $50,000 to over $2 million in your lifetime actionable fixes you can start implementing today, not someday. Real examples of people who turned it around by fixing just one of these. And here's the thing. Mistake number 5. It's probably the most dangerous one, but also the easiest to fix. I'll show you exactly how to calculate your personal freedom number, so stick around for that. If you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and actually build real wealth, hit that like button right now and let's dive in. All right, let's start with the biggest trap I see everywhere. Mistake number 1. Confusing looking rich with being rich. The mistake, you know what's crazy? We live in an Instagram world where everyone looks wealthy. Designer bags, luxury cars, exotic vacations. But here's what nobody tells you. Looking rich is the fastest way to stay poor. Why it's a problem? Let me break down the psychology here. Our brains are wired for status. When your coworker rolls up in a new BMW, something in your head screams, I need that too, or I'm falling behind. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's a silent killer. Here's the math that should terrify you. Let's say you get a $10,000 raise. Most people immediately upgrade their lifestyle: better apartment, nicer car, more expensive dinners. So that $10,000, it disappears before it can ever build wealth. The real kicker, you're buying depreciating assets, things that lose value the second you own them. That $60,000 car, it's worth $45,000 the moment you drive it off the lot. Meanwhile, actual wealthy people, they're buying appreciating assets, things that make them more money over time. Real world example, I have a friend, let's call him Marcus. 32 years old, making $120,000 a year in tech. From the outside, living the dream. Luxury apartment downtown, leased BMW, designer everything. But when we sat down and looked at his numbers, he had $3,000 in savings. One medical emergency, one job loss, and he's wiped out. Compare that to his colleague Sarah. Same income, driving a 7-year-old Honda, living in a modest apartment. But she had $180,000 in index funds and investment properties, generating $1,500 a month in passive income. Who's actually rich? The cost. Let's do the real math. If Marcus took just $500 a month, money he's currently spending on looking rich, and invested it at an average 8% return, in 30 years, that's $745,000. Nearly $750,000. For perspective, that could generate $30,000 per year in passive income without ever touching the principal. That designer lifestyle, it's literally costing him his freedom. The fix: here's what you need to do. Step 1. Track every single expense for 30 days. I mean everything. Step 2. Circle everything you bought to impress other people. Be honest. Step 3. Cut 50% of those expenses immediately. Step 4. Redirect that money into index funds or high-yield savings. Use this mental filter. Does this bring me closer to freedom, or does this make me look successful? Quick win. In the next 24 hours, cancel one subscription or membership you have for status. That $200 per month gym membership you use twice a month. Gone. Get a $20 per month Planet Fitness membership instead. Take that $180 difference and set up an automatic transfer to a Roth IRA or brokerage account. Comment below, what's one status purchase you're cutting this week? I'll reply to as many as I can. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Because looking rich is one thing, But mistake number 2. This is where even high earners get it completely wrong. Mistake number 2. Not understanding the difference between income and wealth. The mistake pop quiz. If you make $250,000 a year, are you wealthy? The answer is maybe not even close. See, most people think income equals wealth. Get the high-paying job and boom, you're rich. But that's like saying having a fire hose means you have water in your bucket, not if there's a giant hole in the bottom. Why it's a problem. Here's the truth bomb. Income is what you make. Wealth is what you keep. You can make $300,000 a year and be broke if you spend $310,000. And yes, I know people doing exactly this. Real wealth isn't measured by your salary. It's measured by 3 things. Net worth, assets minus liabilities, cash flow, money coming in that doesn't require your active work, financial runway. How long you can survive without a paycheck, the harsh reality. According to research, 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, including people making 6 figures. Why? Because they never learned this fundamental difference. Real-world example, let me tell you about 2 people from my hometown. Person A, doctor, makes $350,000 per year. Sounds amazing, right? But here's the reality. $200,000 in student loans, $800,000 mortgage, $80,000 car payments, works 70 hours a week. If he stops working, his life falls apart in 60 days. Person B, small business owner, made $95,000 last year, but owns 3 rental properties generating $3,500 per month passive income, has a portfolio of dividend stocks paying another $1,200 per month, and an online course making $2,000 per month. Who's actually wealthy? Person B can quit working tomorrow and maintain their lifestyle. Person A is a slave to that $350,000 salary. The cost. Here's the scary part. High-income earners often delay wealth building because they think they have time. I'll save later when I make more. But every year you delay costs you exponentially. A 25-year-old investing $6,000 annually until 65 at 8% growth ends up with $1.86 million. Start at 35. You only get $814,000. That 10-year delay costs you over $1 million. Income today doesn't guarantee wealth tomorrow. Building wealth systems does. The fix. Here's your action plan. First, calculate your real net worth today. Assets, what you own that has value, minus liabilities, what you owe. Be brutally honest. Second, aim for the 50-30-20 rule. 50% essential expenses, 30% lifestyle, 20% wealth building. If you're making 6 figures and not hitting that 20%, you have a spending problem, not an income problem. Third, build at least one passive income stream in the next 12 months. Rental property, dividend portfolio, digital product, side business. Pick one and execute. Fourth, ask yourself this every month. How many months can I survive if my income disappeared tomorrow? Work to make that number at least 12 months. Quick win. In the next 24 hours, open a spreadsheet right now. List every asset you own and every debt you have. Calculate your net worth. That number might hurt. Good. You can't improve what you don't measure. Then write down your answer to this. If I lost my job today, how long until I'm in serious trouble? Drop your net worth goal for next year in the comments. No judgment, just accountability. Now, speaking of losing your job, this brings us to mistake number 3, and honestly, this one keeps me up at night because it's more relevant in 2026 than ever before. Mistake number 3. Putting all your eggs in one basket. Job dependency. The mistake. Be honest with me for a second. If your employer called you tomorrow and said, "We're letting you go," would your world completely fall apart? If the answer is yes, you're making mistake number 3, total job dependency. Why it's a problem. Here's what they don't teach you in school. Job security is a myth. It's a comfortable lie we tell ourselves. Look at the data. In 2026, the average person will change careers, not just jobs, but entire careers 5 to 7 times in their lifetime. Mass layoffs are happening in tech, media, healthcare, you name it. But here's the deeper issue. When you have only one income stream, you have zero leverage. Your employer knows you need them more than they need you. That affects your raises, your negotiating power, your freedom to say no to things. Think about it like this. If you have one leg holding up a table, that table falls when the leg breaks. But 4 legs, remove one, and the table still stands. Real-world example, my friend Jason learned this the hard way. Senior manager at a Fortune 500 making $180,000. Thought he was untouchable, 15 years with the company, great performance reviews. Then 2024 hit, restructuring, gone. Severance package lasted 4 months. No side business. No investments generating income. No backup plan. At 42 years old, he was starting from scratch, competing with people half his age willing to work for half the salary. It took him 14 months to find something comparable. During that time, burned through savings, maxed out credit cards, nearly lost his house. Now compare this to my friend Rachel, same industry, similar salary, but she had a consulting side hustle, $2,000 to $3,000 per month rental property, $1,200 per month cash flow dividend portfolio, $800 per month small online course, $1,500 per month when she got laid off. She barely noticed. Within 3 months, she'd scaled her consulting to replace her corporate income. She's now making more money and has complete time freedom. The cost, let's talk opportunity cost. Every year you rely solely on a job, you're missing out on income diversification that could add $20,000 to $50,000 annually, building equity in businesses or assets. You control developing skills that make you irreplaceable, the compound growth of multiple income streams. Plus, the stress cost is massive. Studies show people with diversified income report 43% less financial anxiety and sleep 1.5 hours more per night on average. The fix: here's your diversification strategy. Phase 1, months 1 to 3. Start simple, freelance your existing skills. If you're in marketing, do consulting. In finance, help small businesses with their books. Teaching, create an online course. Phase 2, months 4 to 6. Build your first passive income stream. This could be dividend-paying index funds, REITs, or creating a digital product. Phase 3, months 7 to 12. Scale what's working. Double down on the side income that's generating results. The goal isn't to burn yourself out. It's to have 3 to 5 income sources within 18 to 24 months. Quick win. In the next 24 hours, write down 3 skills you have that people would pay for. Don't overthink it. Then post in one Facebook group, LinkedIn, or Reddit community. I'm helping X type of people with Y skill. First consultation is free. You'll be shocked how fast you get responses. That's your first alternate income stream. What skill are you monetizing first? Comment below. All right, we're more than halfway through, and if you're still watching, first off, thank you. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we're about to talk about the invisible threat that's quietly stealing your wealth. Mistake number 4. Ignoring inflation and taxes in your financial planning. The mistake: quick scenario. You're investing $500 a month, getting a 7% return. Feels good, right? You're winning at money. But what if I told you that after inflation and taxes, you're actually earning closer to 1 to 2%? Welcome to mistake number 4. Ignoring the 2 silent wealth destroyers, inflation and taxes. Why it's a problem? Let me explain this with something called real return, the only number that actually matters. Say you're getting 7% on your investments. Awesome. But wait, inflation is eating 3 to 4% of that, historically. Taxes take another 15 to 25% depending on your bracket, so your real return, what you actually keep in purchasing power, might only be 2 to 3%. This is why people feel like they're saving but never getting ahead. They're running on a treadmill that's going backwards. Here's the gut punch. At 3% inflation, your money loses half its purchasing power in just 23 years. That $100,000 you have saved. In 2 decades, it'll only buy what $50,000 buys today. Real-world example, let me show you two investors. Investor A, the average person, puts $50,000 in a regular savings account, gets 1% interest. If they're lucky, pays taxes on that 1% inflation is 3% real return. Negative 2.5%, they're literally losing money every single year. Investor B, the smart investor, puts $50,000 in a Roth IRA with index funds, gets 8% average return, zero taxes on growth. Roth advantage. Inflation is still 3% real return. 5% after 20 years. Investor A has the equivalent of about $31,000 in today's purchasing power. Investor B, over $132,000 in today's dollars. Same starting point. Completely different endings. The cost, not accounting for inflation and taxes, is costing the average investor 60 to 70% of their potential wealth over a lifetime. Think about that. If you could have $2 million, but because you ignored these factors, you only end up with $800,000. You just lost $1.2 million. And here's what really frustrates me. Most financial gurus show you gross returns, the big, sexy numbers, but they never talk about what you actually take home. The fix: here's your tax and inflation battle plan. Strategy 1: tax-advantaged accounts. Max out your Roth IRA first, $7,000 per year in 2026. Then your 401k up to employer match. Consider HSA if eligible, triple tax advantage. Strategy 2: tax loss harvesting. Sell losing investments to offset gains, can save you thousands in taxes annually. Strategy 3: inflation-beating assets. Real estate typically outpaces inflation. I-bonds, directly tied to inflation rates. Commodities and tips, quality dividend stocks that increase payouts. Strategy 4: always calculate real return. Use this formula. Real return equals nominal return, inflation rate, tax rate. If your investment isn't beating inflation by at least 3% after taxes, you're going backwards. Quick win: in the next 24 hours, open your investment accounts right now. Calculate your actual, after-tax, after-inflation return from last year. If you're not sure how, just Google real return calculator and plug in your numbers. That real number is your only truth. Everything else is fantasy. Then, if you haven't maxed out your Roth IRA contribution for 2026, set up an automatic monthly transfer today to make that happen. What's your real return? Share in the comments if you're brave enough. All right, we've arrived at the big one, the mistake that ties everything together. And honestly, this is the one that changed my entire financial life when I finally figured it out. Mistake number 5. Having no clear financial freedom. Number the mistake. Let me ask you something. When someone says, "I want to be financially free," what does that actually mean? Most people have zero idea. They just know they want more money or to be rich. That's like saying, "I want to drive somewhere," but not knowing the destination. You just end up driving in circles, burning gas, getting nowhere. Why it's a problem? Here's the psychological truth. Your brain can't work toward a vague goal. "I want to be rich" means nothing. Your subconscious can't take action on that. "But I need $2.3 million invested to generate $92,000 per year in passive income to cover my expenses." Now your brain has a target. Without a specific freedom number, you'll never know if you're on track, always feel behind. Even when you're not, make poor financial decisions because you have no framework, work way longer than you actually need to. And here's the irony. Some of you watching this might already be financially free and don't even know it. You're still grinding because you never did the math. Real world example: I have a client. Let's call her Denise. She'd been working for 25 years, had over $1.2 million saved, still stressed about money, working 50-hour weeks. I asked her, "How much do you actually need per year to live your ideal life?" She'd never calculated it. When we sat down and did the math, she needed $65,000 a year. Using the 4% rule, we'll talk about this in a second, that meant she needed $1.625 million. She was already at $1.2 million. She was 4 years away from total freedom, but planned to work another 15 years because she had no idea. We adjusted her strategy. She hit her number in 3 years, and she retired at 52. Now she travels, volunteers, spends time with grandkids, living her actual dream. All because she finally calculated her freedom number. The cost without a clear target, people either oversave and overwork, sacrifice decades of life they could have been free, undersave and underprepare. Realize at 60 they're nowhere close the cost. Years, sometimes decades of your life. Time you can never get back. The fix, all right, here's exactly how to calculate your financial freedom number. Step 1. Calculate your annual expenses. What does it cost you to live your desired lifestyle per year? Be realistic. Include housing, food, transportation, insurance, healthcare, entertainment, travel, everything. Let's say that's $80,000 per year. Step 2. Apply the 4% rule. This is based on the Trinity study. It shows that you can safely withdraw 4% of your portfolio annually without running out of money. So take your annual expenses and multiply by 25. $80,000 times 25 equals $2 million. That's your financial freedom number. When you hit $2 million invested, you can generate $80,000 per year indefinitely. Step 3. Calculate your timeline. If you're currently at $0 and can invest $1,500 per month at 8% average return, you'll hit $1 million in about 22 years. You'll hit $2 million in about 31 years. Not exciting? Then you need to either increase your income, reduce your target expenses, increase your investment amount. Step 4. Break it into milestones. $2 million feels impossible. Cool. First milestone, $100,000, then $250,000, then $500,000. Make it real. Make it tangible. Quick win in the next 24 hours. Right now, pause this video if you have to. Grab a calculator or spreadsheet. Write down every monthly expense. Multiply by 12. That's your annual number. Multiply that by 25. That's your freedom number. Then, use a compound interest calculator online to figure out how long it'll take you to get there based on what you're currently investing. That's your roadmap. That's your finish line. Everything you do financially from this moment should be measured against this number. Drop your freedom number in the comments. Let's hold each other accountable. All right, let's bring this home. We just covered 5 massive mistakes that are keeping millions of people from the financial freedom they deserve. Confusing looking rich with being rich. Stop buying depreciating status symbols, not understanding income versus wealth. It's not what you make. It's what you keep. Job dependency. Diversify your income streams before you're forced to ignoring inflation and taxes. Always calculate your real returns. Having no clear freedom number. You can't hit a target you can't see. Here's what I want you to understand. If you're making these mistakes, you're not failing. You're just uninformed. And now, you're informed. The difference between people who achieve financial freedom and those who don't isn't intelligence, luck, or even income. It's awareness and action. You now have the awareness. The question is, will you take action? So here's what I need you to do right now. First, smash that like button if you found this valuable. It helps YouTube show this to more people who need it. Second, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next video where I'm breaking down exactly how to build your first $100,000. That's the hardest part, and I've got a system that makes it way faster. Third, comment below with your biggest takeaway or which mistake you're fixing first. I read every single comment, and I'll reply to as many as I can. And if you want to go deeper, I've created a free financial freedom calculator spreadsheet that does all the math for you. Link is in the description. It's the exact tool I use with my clients. Remember this, financial freedom isn't about having unlimited money. It's about having unlimited choices. The choice to work because you want to, not because you have to. The choice to say no to things that don't serve you. The choice to live life on your terms. You're closer than you think. You just needed to stop making these 5 mistakes. Now go fix them. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.